reached out to her parents and guardian that she is in Anambra State. Her guardian told correspondent Emeka Otuka that Ms. Rejoice Onu called on a telephone yesterday pleading for forgiveness for what she has made her go through. She said Rejoice has lived with her for over 10 years as a housemaid before her sudden disappearance last week Wednesday. She also said that her case was reported to the police.
She has called me. She called me yesterday, sent message for sorry. He says she's in Anambra doing PS for somebody. She's sorry for put me through what she's put on me. Even the parents call me that somebody told them that she's alive. We have to no worry about her. My children called her yesterday. They spoke.
A guardian also spoke on how Miss Rejoice Onu left the house to the shop last week Wednesday but didn't get to the shop.
I sent her for my store. You used to come to my store to sell. That Wednesday last week, I sent her to go to store. I went to me to buy goods. Before I come, the store still locked. I didn't see her before we raised her now.
As you may know, there are increasing reports of missing persons in Rivers State. This is as families circulate photos of their missing loved ones online. So far, it has been reported in Igruta, Eneka, Nkpo in Romolumeni, Odedi Road and Mile 3dio, Port Harcourt. Also, an indigene of Bonny local government area of Rivers State, Dagogo Alex Hart, who was reportedly missing around the Jari axis of Port Harcourt, has been found. He was found yesterday. As you may know, a Facebook user, Otos Baba, raised an alarm about the disappearance of Alex Hart. He said Alex Hart was last seen at 10 p.m. on Monday, 18th of April, around Casablanca in Jari A. The police are yet to speak on this. Moving on. The Rivers State Police Public Relations Officer Grace Iringa-Coco has confirmed the kidnap of the Federal Commissioner for Bayelsa State at the National Population Commission, Gloria Zonfo. Iringa-Coco said the kidnap of Zonfo, along with her maid and driver, took place at Ogbakri Junction on the East-West Road. The NPC Commissioner was reportedly on her way back to Port Harcourt from Brass, Bayelsa State, where she serves as Federal Commissioner when her vehicle was set up by the kidnappers. Rivers State Commandant of the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps, Michael Oga, has reiterated the commitment of the command to fighting the menace of oil theft and illegal dealings in petroleum products in the state. The command's PRO, Ayodele Olufemi, spoke on behalf of the state commandant in response to the allegations that he chased foreign guests out of his office.
There were no intention or action that depicts or that shows abuse of office or chasing the foreign journalist out of the commandant's office. Neither is there any intention of the command to frustrate the federal government campaign against oil theft and illegal oil bunkering in the state. The command has always been in the forefront in the fight against oil theft in Rivers State, most especially as the responsibility and mandate is in the hand of the NSCDC, who remains the lead agency in safeguarding all critical national assets and infrastructure in Rivers State.
Mr. Oga also assured that his office is open to the public.
The command is a public environment and the office of the commandant is open to everyone except there are exigencies of duty or emergencies beyond our control. There is no way a visitor will come to the office of the commandant and will be denied access because the command is a public environment and we attend to people from time to time.
Federal civil servants at the Federal Secretariat in Port Harcourt have confirmed a 40% increase in their salary. They expressed excitement while speaking with our correspondent. One of the civil servants spoke on condition of anonymity.
All federal civil servants, yes, in the state have received. From Saturday, they started paying the 40% increase. But I know that my ministry, everybody in my office have received. But we just realized that federal doctors and nurses are not applicable.
Recall that the Minister of Labour and Employment, Chris Ngige, had earlier said that the federal government will increase the salary of some categories of civil servants to help mitigate the effect of inflation. Some students who are writing this year's joint admission and matriculation board exams in Port Harcourt have reacted differently to the ongoing examination. Some of them told our correspondent that the JAM exam are running smoothly, while others complained of technical glitches in some centers.
The exam was okay. I didn't experience any system error. I answered all my questions and submitted. The problem was the delay. I was supposed to write by 12, but we ended up writing by 3.
When I started the exam, they're showing me processing redefined. At first, I thought it was just system stuff. I waited there for like 2 minutes. I raised my hand up and they switched the system. I opened it again. The same problem, processing redefined. Then I grew angry. I was like, people are writing, I'm not writing.
The system was okay. Everything was okay. I just wrote the exam and came out successful.
Literally, this year I've not yet heard any complaint about the system shutting down. But last year, myself encountered it because the system shut down like 30 minutes before my time finished. It made me to repeat JAM again this year. I'm really hoping for a good network and a good system.
Recall that JAM exam started today across Nigeria. The River State Executive Council has approved the handover of the State Model Secondary School, Ngo, in Andoni local government area to the Agricultural Research Council of Nigeria for use as Ngo campus of the Federal College of Fisheries and Marine Technology. State Commissioner for Education, Chinedu Umom, made this known during the handover and signing of relevant documents today in Port Harcourt. He said the handover of the school will enable the college kickstart academic activities immediately.
We have communicated to the Agricultural Research Council the approval of the River State Executive Council, and also with the caveat that this something that is being handed over to you must be put in use within 12 months. We do believe that the college will continue to grow, not just being a campus, but someday to becoming a full-fledged college. And of course, that will trickle down development. So we urge you to put into use this facility, and River State government will always provide whatever support to ensure that college gets this and foot on the ground.
On his part, the Executive Secretary, Agricultural Research Council of Nigeria, Sharif Garuba, who represented the Minister of Agriculture and Rural Development, acknowledged the efforts of federal lawmaker Awaji Inombek Abiante in bringing a research institute to the South-South. He also spoke on materials needed for training in the college.
Let us have things like enablement. Let us have things like the state government also looking at some other basic facilities that will enhance their training. Like, for example, we also require some floating boats, we require some workshops. And I know that for River State to donate a boat to these students for them to be able to do something is not going to be easy. We will try as much as possible to do that. And for Honorable Abiante, I hope people know that he can easily also influence the issue of allocation of other projects to the campus.
Farmers in Bever State whose crops are at risk of being destroyed by flooding have been advised to approach the Agricultural Development Project in the state in order to access crop varieties that are resistant to disasters. Executive Secretary, Agricultural Research Council of Nigeria, Sharif Garuba, gave the advice in an interview with correspondent Martha Okere. Professor Garuba said research institutes and the ADP program have developed technologies designed to mitigate the risk of disasters.
These ADPs have quantum of information that are relevant to the farming season. They will also tell you what variety of crop is good for the riverine area. You know, you don't just get rice in the market and start planting. We have flood resistance one. We also have drought resistant one. We have the ones that will grow above the level of water so that water will not submerge your crops. These are advices we give.
Recall that the Orashi region in River State was greatly affected during last year's flood. People in the region who are predominantly farmers either lost their cassava, plantain farms to the flooding or harvested their produce prematurely. The EFCC has arraigned the Speaker on the State House of Assembly, Bamidele Oloyologun, and 2 others before the State High Court in Akure over alleged 2.4 million naira fraud belonging to the Assembly. The arraignment followed the ruling by an Akure High Court that it has jurisdiction over the trial. Time for a quick break, but still ahead. Stranded Nigerians in Sudan frustrated by delay in evacuation. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. News. The Labour Party says there are plots by a breakaway faction of the party to scuttle its ongoing legal challenge to reclaim its mandate. Acting National Publicity Secretary of the party, Pastor Obiora Ifo, raised the alarm in a statement in Abuja today. Recall that the LP's presidential candidate in the 2023 presidential election, Mr. Peter Obi, is running mate Dr. Yusuf Dati Baba Ahmed, and the Labour Party are currently in court seeking for the nullification of Tinubu's mandate before the Presidential Election Tribunal. Some stranded Nigerians have expressed their frustration as the Nigerian embassy in Sudan continues to delay their movement from Khartoum to Cairo in Egypt. The federal government said it was making preparations to evacuate about 5,500 stranded Nigerians out of Sudan through the Egyptian town of Luxor. Reports say the trapped Nigerian students are yet to leave Khartoum. Meanwhile, the arrangement of the federal government to evacuate Nigerians trapped in the war-ravaged Sudan may be done tomorrow morning. This was disclosed by the chairperson Nigerians in Diaspora Commission, Abike Dabiri Erewa. In business, a federal high court sitting in Lagos has restrained the DG of Nigeria's Civil Aviation Authority, Captain Uwu Musa, from issuing an air operator certificate to the proposed national carrier Nigeria Air. This development came several months after the proposed national airline got air transport license from the NCAA as the Ministry of Aviation stepped up plans to float a national carrier. Some domestic airlines are in court seeking to stop the federal government from partnering with Ethiopian Airlines to float a national carrier. In entertainment, R&B singer R. Kelly has been moved to a correctional center located in North Carolina, where he is expected to serve his 30-year prison sentence in connection with multiple sexual offenses. R. Kelly, in February 2023, was sentenced to 1 additional year in prison for his Chicago conviction of federal child pornography and child enticement charges. This is in addition to the 30 years he's already serving for his separate conviction out of New York. In sports, the players at Tottenham are said to repay their fans that travelled to St James Park, where they fell out 6-1 to Newcastle United on Sunday. In a statement, the players said they understood that the fans were disappointed at the thrashing.
And now, we bring you news from around the world.
The WHO says there is a high risk of biological hazard at a laboratory caught up in the ongoing conflict in Sudan. Officials said it was unclear who was behind the occupation of the National Public Health Laboratory in the capital Khartoum. The city has been ravaged by fighting between the army and the paramilitary rapid support forces. 2 missing persons in Port Harcourt have been found. Federal civil servants in Rivers State have confirmed receiving 40% salary increase. Labour Party has raised alarm over plot to frustrate its legal case. EFCC has arraigned the Speaker of the Ondo State House of Assembly. Stranded Nigerians in Sudan have expressed frustration over the delay in evacuating them to Egypt. On the foreign scene, WHO has warned of biological hazard at Seas Lab in Sudan. The news was edited by Onyekachi Wonsu. Cloudy weather in Port Harcourt this evening. Peace is the path to the prosperity of any nation. Let peace reign. I am Kala Dakurubatibo. Good evening, and just stay tuned. Hard Facts with Diet continues after the break.